winter is coming.
Might just be the cold.
Winter is coming!
Winter came for Westeros. But what if the characters we loved in Game of Thrones weren't just gone from our screens but from our world too? These iconic actors shaped one of the most groundbreaking fantasy epics in television history. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground. But behind the legendary roles, their stories came to an end far too soon. From untimely tragedies to lives lived fully but cut short, we're about to pay tribute to the stars of Game of Thrones, who have left us some at a ripe old age, and others far too young. Get ready as we celebrate the lives and legacies of the Game of Thrones actors we've lost and will remember forever.
Tell Cersei. I wanted to know it was me.
Tell Cersei, I want her to know it was me. As Olenna Tyrell, Diana Rigg brought a razor-sharp wit and cunning to Game of Thrones that stood out even in a world of master manipulators. The Queen of Thorns was the heart of House Tyrell, a woman who wielded words more effectively than any sword, and whose final confession about poisoning King Joffrey gave us one of the show's most satisfying moments. Rigg wasn't just brilliant in Westeros. Long before she schemed in the Gardens of Highgarden, she was breaking barriers as Emma Peel in the cult classic spy series, The Avengers, redefining what a female action hero could be in the 1960s. She even joined the exclusive club of Bond girls, playing Teresa de Vicenzathi, only woman who managed to get James Bond to the altar in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. From the evil queen in Snow White to Lady Holiday in The Great Muppet Caper, Rigg's versatility knew no bounds. But what many might not know is that she had her own sitcom in the 1970s called Diana, where she played a divorcee starting fresh in London. When Rigg joined Game of Thrones in 2013, she was already a legend, bringing gravitas to every scene she graced. Her character's death may have been dramatic, but it was dignified just like the actress herself. Diana Rigg passed away in 2020 at the age of 82, leaving behind a legacy that spans generations. Her final role came posthumously in the psychological horror film Last Night in Soho. Though Diana may no longer be with us, her portrayal of Olenna Tyrell remains unforgettable, a character who showed us that even in the brutal world of Westeros, intelligence and wit could be the deadliest weapons of all.
The time has come. Leave me.
The past is already written. The ink is dry. Few actors could bring the mystical gravitas needed for the Three-Eyed Raven, but Max von Sydow was no ordinary actor. Though his time on Game of Thrones was brief, appearing in just 3 episodes of Season 6, his presence, as the ancient Greenseer who guided Bran Stark through visions of the past, left an indelible mark on the series. Von Sydow's career was nothing short of legendary. His breakthrough came in 1957 with The Seventh Seal, playing chess with death in one of cinema's most iconic scenes. He collaborated with director Ingmar Bergman on 11 films, creating a body of work that defined Swedish cinema. American audiences came to fear him as Father Merrin in the 1973 horror classic, The Exorcist, while others might remember his portrayal of Jesus Christ in The Greatest Story Ever Told. A 2-time Academy Award nominee, von Sydow moved effortlessly between art house films and blockbusters, from Flash Gordon to Star Wars, The Force Awakens, where he played Lor San Tekka shortly before joining Game of Thrones. What made von Sydow special wasn't just his commanding presence or distinctive voice, but his ability to bring depth to even the most fantastical characters. The Three-Eyed Raven wasn't just a mystical figure. In von Sydow's hands, he became the embodiment of wisdom and sacrifice. In March 2020, at the age of 90, Max von Sydow passed away at his home in France. His legacy spans over 100 films in multiple languages, proving that great acting transcends all barriers, just as the Three-Eyed Raven transcended time.
How many winters have you seen, Lord Tyrion?
8, no, 9.
All of them brief.
I grew old in this cage. I lived a long life. As Maester Aemon of the Night's Watch, Peter Vaughan gave us one of Game of Thrones' most poignant characters, a blind old man who had seen more than most with perfect vision ever could. His revelation that he was actually Aemon Targaryen, who had refused the Iron Throne, added layers to a character who counseled Jon Snow and others with wisdom earned through decades of sacrifice. Vaughan's portrayal of Maester Aemon came at the end of a career spanning more than 60 years. Beginning in the mid-1950s, he became a fixture in British entertainment, playing everything from Bill Sikes in Oliver Twist to Mr. Jaggers in Great Expectations. He appeared in classics like The Saint, The Avengers, and Coronation Street, becoming a familiar face to generations of viewers. Perhaps his most beloved role before Game of Thrones was as Harry Grouty Grout in the prison sitcom Porridge, a character so popular he returned for both the film adaptation and a mockumentary decades later. Though never a leading man in Hollywood, he worked alongside such heavyweights as Frank Sinatra, Meryl Streep, and Michael Caine. What made Vaughan special was his ability to bring dignity and depth to every role, no matter the size. His Maester Aemon wasn't just an advisor. He was the moral compass of Castle Black, a man who understood duty better than anyone. Peter Vaughan died in 2016 at the age of 93 from natural causes. Ironically, one of his biggest roles came at the very end of his career, fitting finale for an actor who, like Maester Aemon, gave everything to his calling.
Where are you going?
To stand by my son.
Your place is in the gallery, with the other ladies of the court.
I've been a loyal servant to House Lannister all my life. In the shadow of his imposing brother Tywin, Ian Gelder's Kevin Lannister was the quiet strength of House Lannister, a man of principle in a family often lacking it. Though not as prominent as other Lannisters, Keevan's steady presence provided a counterbalance to the family's more volatile members, eventually serving as Hand of the King after his brother's death. Before bringing Kevin Lannister to life, Gelder had established himself as a respected stage and screen actor in Britain. He was a notable supporting player at the National Theatre and the Royal Shakespeare Company, bringing classical training to every role he touched. His television career included appearances in Doctor Who as the villain Zelen, showcasing his range beyond the stoic Lannister uncle. What made Gelder's performance special was his ability to convey integrity and loyalty with minimal screen time. In a show where most characters scheme for power, his Kevin Lannister served out of duty rather than ambition, a rare quality in Westeros. Tragically, Ian Gelder passed away in May 2024 at the age of 74, just 5 months after being diagnosed with bile duct cancer. His husband, fellow actor Ben Daniels, was by his side until the end, having stopped all work to be his caregiver. Though Gelder's time on Game of Thrones was limited, his contribution to the rich tapestry of characters helped make the show the phenomenon it became. Sometimes the most chilling characters are those who never speak a word. As the mute royal executioner Sir Ilan Payne, Wilko Johnson needed no dialogue to make and impact this searing glare, and the swing of his blade that took Ned Stark's head were enough to cement him in Game of Thrones infamy. What many viewers didn't know was that Game of Thrones was Johnson's first and only acting role. Before stepping into Westeros, he had made his name in a completely different arenas, the founding guitarist of the 1970s pub rock group Dr. Feelgood. The band released over 40 albums in their decade-spanning career, with Johnson's distinctive choppy guitar style influencing generations of musicians. Johnson's casting as Sir Ilan Payne was inspired. Who better to play a character known for his intimidating silence than a man who commanded attention without words on stage? His natural intensity translated perfectly to the screen, making the King's Justice one of the show's most memorable minor characters. In 2013, Johnson was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer and given just months to live. In a twist worthy of Game of Thrones itself, he refused chemotherapy to continue performing, then discovered his cancer was actually a treatable neuroendocrine tumor. After successful surgery, he enjoyed several more years of life and music before finally succumbing to the disease in 2022 at the age of 75. Music critics described him as the hard-hitting rhythm king who shaped the sound of UK punk. But to Game of Thrones fans, He'll always be the silent executioner whose blade changed the course of Westeros forever.
The blood of the first men flows through my veins as much as yours, boy.
The blood of the first men flows through my veins as much as yours, boy. Every house needs a leader, and for House Karstark, it was the stern and unyielding Lord Rickard, played with commanding presence by Jon Stahl. Though he wasn't the first actor in the role, it was Stahl who made the bigger impact, appearing in 5 episodes across the show's second and third seasons before meeting his end at the hands of Robb Stark, a pivotal moment that helped seal the young wolf's fate. The Scottish actor Stahl began his professional career in the 1970s, but it wasn't until the 80s that he found steady work. For many in the UK, he was best known as Tom Inverdarach, Kerr in the Scottish soap opera Take the High Road, a role he played for over 200 episodes, until the series ended in 2003. After Game of Thrones, Stahl continued to work steadily, appearing in period films like Victoria and Abdul and Mary, Queen of Scots, as well as popular television series like Shetland and Midsummer Murders. His final role came in the Netflix holiday movie, A Castle for Christmas, showcasing his versatility right up to the end. What made Stahl's portrayal of Lord Karstark memorable was how he embodied the stubborn pride of the North equality that ultimately led to his character's downfall. In just a handful of appearances, he created a fully realized character whose actions had far-reaching consequences for the story. Jon Stahl passed away in March 2022 at the age of 68, leaving behind a body of work that, while not as extensive as some, demonstrated his ability to make an impact in every role he took on.
No.
The giants are almost gone as well, them that remain. In a show filled with larger-than-life characters, few were literally as large as those played by Neil Fingleton. Standing an astounding 7 feet, 7 inches tall, Fingleton brought the giants of George R.R. Martin's world to life, first as Mag the Mighty in The Watchers on the Wall, and later as a giant in Hardhome, creating some of the series' most spectacular battle sequences. Before stepping into the world of acting, Fingleton had pursued a very different path. His exceptional height made him a natural for basketball, leading him to play college ball at the University of North Carolina and later professionally in Europe. He was officially recognized as the tallest person in the European Union and the world's tallest actor, distinctions that opened doors in Hollywood. Fingleton made his film debut in 2011 as a Russian bodyguard in X-Men First Class, and later appeared as a samurai in 47 Ronin, alongside Keanu Reeves. He also played the Fisher King in Doctor Who, using his unique physical presence to bring fantastical characters to life across different franchises. What made Fingleton's contributions to Game of Thrones special was how he helped create truly believable giants through a combination of practical effects and his own physical performance. The battle at Castle Black and the massacre at Hardhome remain 2 of the show's most visually stunning sequences, with Fingleton's giants at the center of the action. Tragically, Neil Fingleton's life was cut short in 2017 when he suffered heart failure at just 36 years old, a common health risk for those of exceptional height. Though his time was brief, he quite literally stood tall among the cast of Game of Thrones, helping to bring the fantasy world of Westeros to vivid life.
The substance burns so hot it melts wood, stone, even steel. And, of course, flesh.
The substance burns so hot, it melts wood, stone, even steel. And, of course, flesh. As Halline the Pyromancer, Roy Dotrice brought a manic enthusiasm to Game of Thrones that perfectly captured the character's obsession with wildfire. His appearance in Season 2 may have been brief, but it was memorable particularly as his concoctions played a crucial role in the Battle of the Blackwater. What many fans might not know is that Dotrice had a connection to Game of Thrones long before the show existed. He was the narrator for George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire audiobooks, bringing all of the characters to life with his versatile voice years before they appeared on screen. He narrated the first 5 books in the series, creating a unique link between the written word and the television adaptation. Dotrice's career spanned over half a century, beginning in 1957. In the mid-60s, he starred alongside David Warner and Peggy Ashcroft in a filmed adaptation of Shakespeare's War of the Roses. He appeared in countless television shows across the decades, from anthology series like Tales from the Dark Side to the courtroom drama Misleading Cases. His final film role came as King Ballard in Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy 2, The Golden Army in 2008, nearly a decade before his appearance on Game of Thrones, a fitting capstone to a long and varied career. Roy Dotrice passed away in 2017 at the age of 94, having lived a full life that touched multiple generations of fans across different mediums. From audiobooks to television to film, his contributions to the world of Game of Thrones and beyond ensure his legacy will endure. The world of Westeros may be fictional, but the talents who brought it to life were very real, and their losses leave a void that can never truly be filled. From Diana Rigg's sharp-tongued Olenna to Max von Sydow's mystical raven, from Peter Vaughan's wise maester Aemon to Wilko Johnson's silent executioner, these performers gave pieces of themselves to create one of television's greatest achievements. Game of Thrones changed television forever, and these departed actors were essential parts of that revolution. Though they may be gone, their performances live unimmortalized in a series that continues to captivate audiences around the world. Which actor's story resonates with you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to honor the memory of these incredible talents. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the lives of the stars who made TV history. Until next time, remember what Syrio Forel taught us. There is only one thing we say to death, not today. But when that day does come, it's the legacy that matters, and these actors left legacies that will never be forgotten.